Okay, let's dive into this this idea of divine energy.
Right.
And I know it might sound a little out there, a bit abstract maybe.
Yeah, it can sound that way, but honestly, what we're digging into has a really practical impact on your daily life, how you feel, what results you get.
Exactly. And this deep dive learner, it's really for you to get a better handle on this concept.
And how it might already be, influencing your experiences without you even realizing it, perhaps.
So for this, we've been looking at insights from Karishma Ahuja. She's a manifestation coach. She had this great discussion on a YouTube channel, Speaking Tree. We're sort of unpacking her views on aligning with this energy.
Yeah, so our mission today is pretty clear. First, help you spot the signs, like when are you not aligned with this inner divine energy?
Okay.
Then look at some actual techniques to get back into alignment.
Practical stuff.
Exactly. And finally, understand how that alignment can actually change things, your feelings, your outcomes, the whole deal.
Right. So let's jump in. What are those signs, those like little red flags that we might be out of sync?
Well, one of the first things Karishma Ahuja mentions is just negative feelings dominating your day.
Okay.
That constant low-level negativity, maybe anger, irritability, or always seeing what's wrong with other people.
Yeah, that fault-finding thing.
Exactly. It's not just that it feels bad. It's like energetic static. It blocks the good stuff from coming through, like bad radio reception.
That makes total sense. Like a background hum of just... Yeah. Okay, what else? Is there anything more subtle?
Yeah. Interestingly, even if your day seems okay on the surface, that lack of real peace when you try to sleep, that can be a big one.
Oh, I know that feeling. Day was fine, but the brain just won't shut down.
Right. It points to some kind of inner restlessness. Even if you can't quite put your finger on it, you're not really settling.
Okay. What about when we're, like, actively trying to achieve things? Does it show up then?
Oh, definitely. Feeling super stressed or negative or constantly comparing yourself while you're working towards a goal, that's another major sign.
The comparison trap. Ugh.
Yeah, and she contrasts that feeling with prashanti, which isn't just like no stress, but this deep inner calm, even when you're busy.
So you can be doing all the right things.
But if it's fueled by anxiety, by feeling like you're not enough compared to others, that's misalignment.
It's so easy to fall into that comparison thing, though, especially now.
Totally. And Ahuja actually brings in wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this idea of working, like everything you do is an offering to the divine or just something bigger than yourself.
So shifting the focus.
Exactly. Away from that fear, that competition, like their success is my losses kind of thinking.
Right.
And focusing more on your unique value. Recognizing abundance isn't limited. Set your goals, sure, but let the drive be internal, not just about beating someone else.
Okay, so tuning into your own purpose, not just looking sideways. Makes sense.
Precisely. And another sign, lack of inner guidance.
What do you mean?
Like when you're facing a problem, looking for answers, do you get those little insights, that gut feeling?
Sometimes. Maybe not always.
Well, if that feeling of inner knowing is consistently absent, that can suggest you're disconnected from that core energy.
Yeah, that feeling of just being lost, even when you're trying really hard to figure things out. I get that. What else?
Feeling like your efforts just aren't seen or appreciated.
Oh.
You pour yourself into something, but you just don't get the respect or understanding back. That disconnect.
That's incredibly draining. Okay, but what if someone feels genuinely pretty good, they're positive, but things still aren't working out? Results aren't coming.
That's a great question. Ahuja really emphasizes the link between feelings and results. They're interconnected.
So if you feel good but get bad results...
It suggests there might be something deeper going on. Maybe some subconscious beliefs or hidden emotional stuff you're not aware of. It's a signal to look a bit deeper within yourself.
Okay, so we've got some clear signs to look out for. Let's pivot then. Why does this alignment actually matter, practically speaking?
Well, it comes down to this fundamental idea of energy and frequency. Everything has a vibration, right? Including people.
Right.
When you're aligned with your, let's call it core positive energy, your divine energy, you're essentially broadcasting a certain frequency.
Like a radio signal.
Kind of, yeah. And Ahuja suggests this frequency acts like a subconscious signal to other people.
Really? Oh.
It influences how they perceive you, how they treat you. She even shares stories where someone's interactions with the same person changed dramatically just because their own inner energy shifted.
Wow. So we're not just reacting, we're actually co-creating those interactions with our energy.
That's the idea. It's quite empowering, actually.
So other people can be like mirrors, reflecting our own energy back.
Exactly. How others treat you can give you really valuable clues about what you're putting out there energetically. Think of your subconscious like a projector screen. It's constantly playing old memories, old feelings, often below your conscious awareness. And those unresolved negative things create this kind of baseline mood or energy.
Like old baggage affecting the present.
Precisely. But the good news is you can consciously direct your thoughts, your energy, by intentionally focusing on what you do want, on positive outcomes. When you do that consistently, you start to shift your frequency and you naturally attract more positive experiences.
Okay, then this divine within idea. What if someone isn't religious? How can they connect with that?
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
You can think of the divine within simply as your deepest, most authentic self, your core potential for well-being.
Or maybe the subconscious.
Yeah, absolutely. The subconscious mind, that huge inner reservoir. Understanding yourself is about exploring that. And those unresolved negative emotions, they're like energetic knots or blockages in there.
Which brings us back to negativity. And you mentioned forgiveness earlier. How does that fit in?
Forgiveness is huge because holding on to resentment, bitterness, anger, Ahuja says it's like drinking poison yourself and expecting the other person to get sick.
Right, it harms you the most.
Exactly. It disconnects you from your own peace, from that divine energy. Forgiveness isn't about saying what they did was okay.
It's about letting yourself off the hook.
Yes, it's about releasing that energetic burden, clearing the blockages so your own positive energy can flow again. It brings you back to yourself, to your purpose.
And this isn't just something to think about, is it? She emphasizes experiencing it.
Totally. It's not an intellectual puzzle. Ancient wisdom often talks about how words and the logical mind can't fully grasp it.
So you need to feel it.
Yes. She encourages curiosity, trying practices that help you experience it directly, like just sitting quietly with yourself, reading things that resonate deeply.
Moving beyond theory to practice. But what about skeptics? If someone thinks this all sounds a bit fluffy.
A good starting point for skeptics is often just understanding their own mind better. Psychology, self-awareness.
Building self-confidence.
Exactly. As you understand your own thoughts, your emotions, build resilience. That can naturally lead to being more open to the idea of a deeper energy or interconnectedness. The experience can actually build the belief, you know?
Okay, that makes sense. So we know the signs, why it matters.
Yeah.
Let's get practical. What are the actual techniques for realigning?
Well, Krishma Ahuja shares her own story here, which is really relatable. She struggled for years with health issues, low self-esteem, and reached a point where she actively started seeking that deeper connection. And then, kind of synchronistically, this book appeared in her life at just the right time. The Game of Life and How to Play It.
Oh, wow. What was the key takeaway from that?
The big thing that hit her was the idea of demanding what the divine is. Like claiming love, peace, power as inherent qualities instead of focusing on the problems, the lack.
So focusing on the positive essence, not the negative situation.
Exactly. That shift was apparently a huge turning point for her.
That's powerful. Okay, so besides that mindset shift, what other techniques does she recommend?
A really foundational one is silence and stillness. Maun, she calls it.
Just sitting quietly.
Basically, yeah. Setting aside time each day just to connect inwardly. It helps raise your vibration, your energy.
But that's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
The monkey mind. Right.
Yeah.
Thoughts racing.
Oh, she totally gets that. She acknowledges it's tough at first, so she suggests starting with concentration.
How does that work?
Pick an external object, a clock, a picture, even your thumb. Just gently focus on it.
Okay.
Then close your eyes and try to visualize that object clearly. It trains your focus, helps release tension.
Like mental reps for focus. Then what?
Then comes contemplation. That's when you start feeling more comfortable just being still. The restlessness eases up.
Ah, okay.
And from there, you can move into meditation, maybe focusing on a divine image if that works for you, or just your breath. Inhale, exhale.
But breath is always there. Simple.
And she suggests maybe mentally counting breaths. 1 on the inhale, 2 on the exhale, up to 10, then start again. It slows you down, deepens the connection.
And helps anchor the mind.
Exactly. And in that space, you can gently affirm things like, I am love, I am peace.
How does this silence actually help realign our energy, though?
Because in the quiet, you start to notice things, your own pattern.
Ah, self-awareness.
Yeah, you might see, oh, I always react negatively when X happens, or I tend to exaggerate because I want people to like me. You spot the underlying need.
And then you can address it consciously.
Exactly. You can correct the energy because you understand where it's coming from.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like shining a light inward. Okay, what else?
She also talks about controlling desires, calming the subconscious, addressing that inner negativity. It's essential for connecting clearly with that divine energy within. Less inner chaos means a clearer connection.
Okay. Now let's link this to manifestation. How does being aligned actually help us create what we want?
Well, when you're connected, Ahuja believes that energy guides you towards the right goals.
Not just any goal.
Right. Goals that align with your true values, your passions, not just what society says you should want or what looks good externally.
So, manifesting things that genuinely fit you.
Yes. And when you're aligned, you also find more resilience for the journey. You keep going during challenges. She mentions Arjuna's focus in the Gita, again, persistence, trust.
It feels less like a struggle.
Exactly, more like a flow with this sense of inner support.
And she shared examples of this working, right? In her life and with clients.
Yeah, she talked about overcoming her own weight and health issues through this inner work. And lots of client stories, shifts in relationships, career, just overall well-being, all linked back to connecting with their energy and releasing negativity.
That letting go keeps coming up. It seems really central.
It really is. Letting go of blame, bitterness, resentment, hatred, sadness, anger, all those heavy emotions, they block the flow.
Like dams in a river.
Perfect analogy. Releasing them lets your natural positive energy move freely. That's when you experience more grace, more positive outcomes.
But it's hard, especially if you feel justified in holding on to it. What about that resistance?
That's a really common sticking point. Her perspective is interesting. If someone keeps behaving negatively towards you, it might mean your letting go isn't complete yet.
Wow. So my inner state affects their outward behavior.
That's the idea of energetic interconnectedness. If you genuinely release your end of the negative dynamic, their behavior often shifts too.
So it's less about blaming them and more about taking responsibility for my own energetic contribution.
Precisely. Acknowledge the past hurt, yes, but realize you have the power now to change your energetic response.
Okay, so how do we do that? What are the techniques for letting go when it's tough?
She suggests a few things. One is a daily affirmation. I am willing to release all negative feelings towards presented situation.
Just stating the willingness.
Yes. Also, consciously sending blessings to that person, even just mentally.
Even if you don't feel like it.
Especially then, perhaps. You can even pray for the ability to bless and forgive. Ask the divine for help with it.
Okay.
And remind yourself, holding on to this hurts me. That can be motivating.
What else? Any other techniques?
A big one is shifting focus from what you don't want to what you do want.
Yeah.
Make a list. What feelings do you want? What experiences? Be specific. Then repeat that list daily, especially when you're relaxed. Reprogramming the subconscious.
Creating the positive blueprint.
Okay.
Now, how does this connect to, say, money? Material things versus spiritual.
Ahuja kind of dissolves that separation. It's all divine energy, including money.
So negative beliefs about money.
Can actually create financial blocks. She stresses mindfulness in daily actions too. Give your best, treat interactions as important, work with an awareness of that divine presence.
Bringing intention to everyday life.
Yeah, it reduces stress, prevents negative karma, and always look for the good. Good and God are one, she says. Find the positive, even small things.
What about when others are being negative? It's easy to focus on their flaws.
But focusing on their flaws just reflects negativity back onto you. Criticizing others creates bad feelings inside you.
Right, it lowers your own vibration. And feelings are key, you said.
Absolutely crucial. Feelings create vibrations. Vibrations influence results. Positive feelings are essential. Even if you're doing affirmations and visualizations, your body often reflects this too. Physical state mirrors thought patterns.
Our bodies give us clues.
They do! And while past karma exists, she emphasizes the power of the present. Choose positive thoughts and actions now to shape your current energy and your future. People stuck in the past often aren't working on their present energy.
Okay, so let's talk specific daily practices. Gratitude, affirmations, prayer. How do these fit in?
Gratitude is fundamental. Daily, mindful thanks. to the divine, your body, people you love.
Simple but powerful.
And that exercise for difficult situations, find one good thing about the person or situation causing trouble, just one, do it daily.
And that can dissolve the negativity.
Often within a month, she suggests. You might even see the other person change.
Amazing. What about prayer? Any specific recommendations?
She suggests a prayer structure. Address the divine. Take responsibility for your mistakes, known and unknown. Ask for forgiveness and correction, personal and ancestral energy. Ask for guidance, blessings for well-being, and the ability to manifest positive change.
That covers a lot. It fosters responsibility, not blame.
Exactly. And another technique, seeking guidance before sleep.
How did that work?
Repeat your question or dilemma 3 times silently as you're drifting off. Then let it go. Don't try to solve it then.
Tapping into the subconscious.
Right. It's very receptive when relaxed. Answers or insights often come later.
Cool. And finally, self-love.
Yes. Simple but profound. Look in the mirror, say, I love you with sincerity. It programs the subconscious for self-acceptance and cooperation.
Okay, wow. So to wrap up, we've covered spotting the signs of being out of sync, why getting aligned matters so much, and a whole toolkit of techniques.
Yeah, things like silence, letting go, gratitude, prayer, self-love, practical ways to connect with that inner divine energy.
And remember, learner, this whole deep dive was really designed to give you some actionable insights for your own energy, your own well-being.
Absolutely.
So here's a final thought to maybe noodle on. Think about one area in your life right now where things feel a bit off, misaligned. Just pick one. And then maybe commit to trying just one of the techniques we talked about for a week or so.
Could be just 5 minutes of silence, or the gratitude practice, or the pre-sleep question.
Exactly. Just try one thing and see what you notice. What shifts, inside or out. Be curious.
Well, thank you for joining us on this exploration. We really hope it helps you on your journey.